The Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Department of Parks and Recreation, Prince George's County, invites you to explore the arts from home. Let's live more, play more, indoors.
Are you as excited as I am? Hey all, welcome to day 6. Let's get right into it. I'm going to be breaking things down to the nitty-gritty, guys. So today is where we start understanding the details. I know everybody knows the choreo by now, so it's just about remembering our placement of our arms, our placement of our feet and our legs, if we're pointing our toes, and things that we have to remember during this piece. The only note that I have about these walks is to make sure that you're walking with a purpose. They need to have something behind it. So say, for example, if I'm walking like this, versus me walking like this, the story behind it, the message behind these walks are completely different. So I'm giving you guys the creative freedom to explore that. Just those walks itself creates a different story for this entire song. So all I want you to do at home is to make sure when you're walking with a purpose behind it. Alright, so we walked in already. The only note that I have about this next part coming up is to release any stiffness that you may have. So it helps a lot if you've warmed up right before this video, because your shoulders should be feeling just a little bit more free and less tense. Moving on to the hand grab look. Everything is very, very sharp and staccato. Right after that, the same note that I had with the arm, the shoulder rolls, as well as the arm coming up, is stiffness. If you have stretched right before this, nothing should be stiff, and you should be able to isolate comfortably. All right, moving on. There aren't many notes for this. I feel like it is very self-explanatory. For this next jump, you have to really make sure that you are prepped properly. If you aren't prepped properly, you may come down and hurt your ankle. So I need to make sure that when you are down here, this leg is plied all the way down, so you have a greater chance to come down gracefully. The same thing goes with isolation. When we are down here, I need to make sure that I am isolating just my right shoulder, and then just my left shoulder, and then I am sharp with these legs. Bow, bow, and then my head is sharp to come up. All right, moving on. So if you are at home, I want you to envision something that you cannot have, but you want so, so, so bad. That's how I want to represent that reach. So I want to see the desperation, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in your face. I want to see that desperation reach within your fingertips. All of the energy should be everywhere. There's never a downtime where my leg should be flopped out like this. My foot should always be pointed. There should be energy at the top of my fingertips to reach for there. And then let's say for over here, you're reaching for something that you know you really, really shouldn't have, and you turn away. You turn away from it. So let's just try to keep that in mind as well. Alright, moving on to the next part. When you are rotating and swinging your arms, there should be energy throughout your entire arms. I'm not sure if anybody at home has taken dance classes before, where your arms are stuck like this, and the dance teacher comes around, they try to go down on your shoulders, through your arms, to make sure that they're not moving and they're strong and stationary. That is exactly how I want it to be. I want it to look fierce and sassy and give your all. For this next part, it's simply, again, isolations with your hips, And then you're sitting down, and then you're sitting down. You're swaying, 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 swaying at the hands, 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 hands. It's a little rock with it, right? So make sure you're practicing that in the house. All right, moving on. I believe I broke down the barrel roll turn pretty well. And the most notes that I can give for this turn is to make sure your back is arched and your feet are pointed. I know it sounds weird, and it's a lot to think of the fact that doing that you have to arch your back as well. But I promise you, it'll help in the long run, as well as the look that you're trying to achieve. Alright, so I'm going to go over this part kind of in slow motion. I am here and taking my right arm behind me and swinging my foot in front of me to then turn, tuck my feet, and bring my feet right across. I am here and taking my right arm behind me and swinging my foot in front of me to then turn, tuck my feet, and bring my feet right across. So for this next part, I want you to envision yourself as a puppet. Imagine that your wrists are actually attached to your kneecaps. So every single time you move your knee, your wrist moves. So that's the best visual I can give you to help you with this particular dance move. Bring your foot up, and as I'm rolling my head, when you are bringing it down, make sure you are taking your time. Alright, so for this next part, I believe I also explained this a little bit in detail, but I am going to demonstrate it again. When you are bringing your foot up and crossing your foot over, the best way I can express this is to put all of your weight on your right foot and prepare your left foot already, so when you're coming around, this foot is already beveled up with your hand here. Put all your weight on your right to come right up here. So this part is more fluid. It's not staccato like everything else, so you can take your time. The only note that I have to give for this next part is to make sure that you are on releve the entire time for this until it is time to collapse in, out. So, moving on to this next part, make sure you are contracting all the way in when you are pushing yourself out. So you have 1, 2, touch your chest, 3, 4. And the best way that I can explain contracting is imagine something or somebody punching you in your stomach, in your gut. And your automatic reflex of your body is to crunch over. So that is what you are doing here. You're like, oh, you hurt me so bad. Alright, so the only note that I have for this next part is to make sure you are on releve as well, and that your passe is connected completely to your knee. Alright, so for this next part, when I'm taking my right arm out and my left arm out, as I bring it together, don't forget about your right leg, because you need your right leg in for this next part right here. So make sure you bring it in, tight, you look over, and the only thing that's moving is my neck. My neck is the only thing that's moving throughout here. Not much of a next note to give, but this part right here when we're coming around, just make sure that you put all of your weight on your left foot as soon as you bring your left foot all the way back for the rond de jambe. And stepping in to this deep second plie here. My arms are here. I know your legs are probably killing you, but it is okay because I'm going to hold it right with you. So we're going to look to your right and make sure when you are doing this that you are going all the way to the ball of your foot, to the top of your foot. And the last note, brush and in releve. One thing I want you to prepare for tomorrow is 2 8 counts of an improv or something that you can actually go ahead and choreograph yourself at home. That will be at the end of this piece when we are here, the 7 and 8 and 1. Right after that count, after this and 1, throwing it away, you can go into any kind of dance moves that you like, anything that you're feeling during this song. I really recommend listening to this song on your free time. Will help your creative juices flow, and you might have to get up real quick and write something down or dance something just so you can remember it. So I just want you guys to put your all into this, your creativity, your love for dance, and everything. Hope you guys are having fun and as thrilled and excited as I am to see the final results of this piece. Alright, see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to tune in again in the next video in this series presented by the Department of Parks and Recreations, Prince George's County.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in again and visit the online resource center at pgparks.com, your one-stop shop for arts, fun, and fitness at home. Let's live more, play more, indoors.